Yeah.
So, how did you get into directing?
Oh, so I went to, as a kid, I was always into art. I used to draw a lot. I used to draw comic books and whatnot. And I found myself doing graffiti on trains, right? I grew up in the Bronx. So, back in the 80s. And yeah, it was always just art. And so I think when it came to getting into directing, I love movies as well. I think when I had the opportunity to do it, and learning from doing music videos as well, right? Started doing a lot of music videos and actually just kind of being around 50 a lot and being on set a lot and learning the structure of how things are done, right? So I didn't go to film school, but I always had an eye for things, right, as an artist. And for me, it was just moving images. You know what I mean? How do we create the art and just moving images? So I got into that, and when I was allowed to have the opportunity to shadow another director on Ghost, I believe is the first one I've ever done. Um, I knew camera at that point. I knew camera. I knew how things work on the production side of things. I just had to learn how to work with actors. And what I did was I started taking acting classes, just for my own benefit, not to be an actor, but just to kind of understand them. And that, read a lot of books and watched a lot of videos. The master classes helps out a lot, Spike Lee and a bunch of other guys, learning the what to do, what not to do. And yeah, I mean, and again, I was blessed enough to get the opportunity and did well and continue on.
How would you say directing a TV show is different from directing a music video? And how are they kind of similar?
Structure. It's a lot of structure on the TV side. It's structure. Doing music videos, I mean, you're literally shooting this 2 or 3 minute narrative in one day, right? And sometimes the musicians, very popular ones as well, don't really have the time to do narrative.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of performance videos. They just want to come in and perform, give the fans something that they'll enjoy. And I try to sometimes work in a narrative, whether it's a very small piece or not. I try to fit it in somehow. I always try to work in. Um, I'll tell the musician, like, I'll just get your performance, but I'm going to build a story around it, and they appreciate that. But with TV, it's much different structure. You have literally an army of people that are helping you with this production, and you have 12, 13 days to shoot, so it's a lot different. I mean, it's a lot of work, but the fact that you actually have so many people with you that are from different departments
Yeah.
help get this thing together.
Yes. You've directed other episodes within the Power universe and G Unit Productions. Music is such an important part of those shows. How do you consider music when shooting the show?
We think about it. I mean, it all depends on what the tone of the scene is.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And so if it's, a fight scene or a shootout scene, you kind of want to drop some music in there that has a theme of like action and whatnot. If it's a love scene and you want to kind of do R&B or slow jam or whatever the case is. So I think the music part of it comes after.
Okay.
It's trying to find, yeah, once you see the scene and it's cut, you try to find what fits in with the tone of that scene, and then you can start selection of music.
Yes. So you did a episode 5, I believe, in season 1 of Force, and that's the episode where Tommy tries Dahlia for the first time. Claudia has her first kill. I haven't seen your episode yet for season 2 yet, but how do you go about sketching out the episode?
Um, so you want to talk about the season 1 episode?
We can talk about season 1 or season 2. It's up to you.
Yeah, well, I mean, season 2, I could touch on it a little bit without giving too much away, but like season 1, it's about just having the right preparation for and understanding what the scene means. I mean, For example, that shootout scene that we had in that episode, season one, where they're all in the warehouse and it's like Jeremiah and everyone's like, it's a big shootout. Um, we shot that probably, I think 18 hours, like straight. Like we were pretty beat up. But it's a lot of different parts, a lot of different components. Um, it's funny what people don't see versus what actually gets cut and put on screen. But like everything, it's his own little movie. So like Jeremiah running upstairs and then getting shot, like, it's about spending a few hours on that alone, you know what I mean, on his side of the camera and figuring out what that is and what it means for him tonally, right?
Mhm.
Um, and so, Joe's, Tommy's character when he tastes the Dahlia, and what does that mean to him? Everyone has a different, a different reaction to whatever narcotics they're using. And so having that discussion with Joseph on the day was like, what would you feel like, do you think, if you took Dahlia?
Mhm.
Like, what would it do to you, right? Because, yeah, I mean, because Claudia would take it and it's nothing. It's just made her kind of like erotic, or like she's taking, what do you call it, the ecstasy or something. But
Mhm.
with Tommy's character, it knocked him out. Like it
Mhm.
just took him to a place where he was just in La La Land. And the crazy thing is, there was a really nice part of that was cut out, that we had, where he's like walking down the street and he thought he saw Ghost,
Mhm.
and it was a lot of great stuff, but that was taken out. Yeah, he was so high. I wish that had stayed, but I guess it's
We're going to have to get a director's cut one day. It's funny
yeah,
about that scene in particular, and especially with probably how you directed it and Joseph approached it, is when he first takes Dahlia, it's like, okay, is he actually into Claudia? Is he really high or into this drug? Or is it just this opportunity for money? Or is it all weaved in together? So seeing how that played out in that very short amount of time was very interesting as a visual aspect in acting as well. Um,
yeah. I think it was a bit of all of it. Like it all came at once. It was, he wasn't, I think he liked Claudia. I don't think he expected that. He wasn't into it. I mean, it happened. He liked it. But then he thought about, wow, if this made me feel this way, made me, feel the way I am, then I have to get this product and I have to sell it because this is a hit. You know what I mean? So yeah.
yes. Yes. But I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. I can't wait to see your episode. I've seen 4 of season 2 so far, and it's definitely a different beast this time around. So I'm
Yeah.
super excited to see your episode and see what's next and to talk to you about future projects.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. It's a great, great episode. It's
Awesome.
yes.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. You have a great one.
Take care.